Big one.
Big one. Ooh. It's gonna be that kind of day. It's a little bit wet. It's all looking good, and we're doing 8.5, sometimes even 9 knots boat speed. Pointing directly where we want to go to. Rare. Woo! Tonight is our last night in the Bahamas. Do you want to guess where we're heading? Hey there.
I'm Kelsey, that's Tim, and this is the story of our adventure. Life is fleeting, and we want to squeeze every bit out of it. We are wandering the world, so home is a bit of a moving target for us. We love finding the random, the remote, and sharing it all with you. So subscribe to get lost with us and hopefully find some inspiration to go after your own dreams.
Welcome to this episode.
Last week we did a little jump down to Clarencetown, Long Island in the Bahamas, and after a day of waiting for some weather, it was time to make the next jump.
Yes, and also we did not plan the matching outfits. We are just that couple, I guess. All right, goodbye, Clarencetown. We are heading out, and we're headed for the Crooked Islands, somewhere we've never been, and it is a beautiful day. What a difference a couple days makes. That entry was so sketchy. We were surfing waves at 10.
Almost 11 knots coming in, surfing and wind.
The waves are breaking kind of on either side of this entrance, so it's a little scary.
Right now, I mean, I wonder, if this is year-round, it probably isn't, but those are actually okay waves. They're not barreling, whatever, but they are feeling and rideable, it looks like, on like a longboard or something.
Yeah, I don't know what's underneath it, but
yeah,
you might not want to ride there.
Sharp coral bump. Pretty neat.
Fishing. So as seems to be the case, we are always feeding into it, and that is the case today. But it is much more chill than it was when we came in. I'm glad we waited a day for this to just calm, because even now it's decent sized swell, but nothing like the day before. So glad we waited. And the street line is only about 20 miles, I think. So we'll end up doing a lot more than that. We'll do this all day. Back and forth, back and forth. Someone coming the other way with their downwind sail out. A little jealous. But maybe we'll catch a fish today.
Attack, and we'll see how terrible the end is. It could be a long day attacking, but hey, beautiful out. Come back to shore. All right, we have made a change, as you do. I think it's always good to go with the flow when you're sailing, because if you try and fight it, you're going nowhere. So, to head to Crooked, we were going to tack probably into midnight, which is fine, but we actually can sail now sort of on the beam. We're pinching a little, but we're still going a bit upwind, but much better angle. We're doing 8 to 8.5, and we're going to go to the bottom tip of Long Island, and tomorrow we can leave from that bottom tip and then be on a better angle to get to Crooked in one big day. But yeah.
The wind just wasn't changing.
No, it just wasn't the direction it was supposed to be. And so we fought it for a while, and after, you know, it's basically, it's about noon right now, but about 11:15, we had made like 7 miles progress of our 40 miles. So we were going to probably end up being in a 75-mile day or something like that to get to Crooked. So,
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Really confused seas between Long Island and Crooked. I think all the swell from the big storm is just hitting back and forth like a bathtub. Once it gets going, it's just all over the place. So none of it makes a whole lot of sense right now. You'll just hit a huge wave out of a direction there's been almost no other waves. So interesting. But yeah, we only got 10 miles to go. So we'll be there actually quite early, call early day, early night, and then get up nice and early tomorrow.
Sometimes it's better to just go with the flow and whatever the wind's doing. We've been beaten into it, the waves and the wind, for days at this point.
Yeah.
It's hard on the boat, it's hard on us, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves we don't actually have a schedule or any place to be.
Yeah, so we spent the night on the southern end of Long Island this night, and it was beautiful. We actually spent it with a couple of other boats and a cruise ship even, and then bright and early in the morning, pulled up anchor, and this time again, pointed towards the Crooked Islands.
Well, good morning. It is about 6 a.m. and we are off. And it's going to be another bash into it today, but at least we have more time and we're doing a slightly better angle this time. So yeah, the winds just have been so consistent that the ocean angry and confused at all times, it seems. So big one. Big one. It's going to be that kind of day.
Land ho! Woo! Waiting to see that one for a while. 9 miles away, but I bet you will sail about 13.
Well, we made it. We have anchored. Tim's getting ready to go dive on said anchor. And that was a bash. It was rough the whole time. And then as soon as it got a little less rough, we decided we could catch a fish and not feel like we're going to fall overboard if we get a fish. So we threw out 2 hand lines and the reel. And the reel is not a big reel, so it's not big fish. We got a big fish, only on the reel, of course. And yeah, it snapped the line. So we caught something big. We didn't get it. How do you feel about this?
It's just a tiring one, but it was good. I mean, we were ripping along, and it felt good to be sailing so fast, but going into the wind, and then our anemometer isn't working, so we don't really know what the wind is. We're going off of all the reports, and the
how it feels, and yeah,
whatever, and how it feels. So we got a reef in, and you're going, shoot, should we put a couple wraps on the jib? But I think it felt okay. I think we did all right, but it was fast, which is fun, but it just felt like you were bashing so hard. We haven't ever bashed that hard. We've bashed a lot.
Yeah.
But that was just like next level, I felt like, you know?
Yeah, it was a bit harsh.
And so the only bummer is you just are like, God, that's definitely abusive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was nice to be able to sail, and then we made a good call because this boat over here next to us He left yesterday morning when we left that other Anchorage. And I think he tried to come all the way straight here. So it would have been 24 or 48 hours of tacking.
Yeah.
So we got to go get rested yesterday, get up early this morning and show up. Probably not too far behind when he did. So I feel like we made a really good choice in that sense.
I do too.
All right, time to go check the anchor and see if there's any little fishies around.
Okay.
I'm gonna take this one, I think.
Alright, it looks good. So, I feel super covered in salt, and then let me show you what the boat just like, it doesn't even want to move. It's so salty. Everything is just crusted with salt, and it's because when you're just bashing through waves, you can imagine all of the water just dries out and it leaves behind salt. So the whole boat, including me, like you rub your skin and it feels like you're like sandy. So at some point we'll rinse off the boat. I don't know if we're going to do that right now because we're both absolutely exhausted today, but we're in a safe spot and it's pretty, so yay, we made it. How is it?
It's interesting, yeah. I mean, it's like deeper than we've been anywhere in the Bahamas.
Really?
It's not very deep.
Yeah.
I think it's probably 20 feet.
Yeah.
And then it hasn't burrowed super far. It's kind of on its side, has a little pile in front of it. So
Okay.
It's holding
Yeah,
well.
it felt like it must have been hard rock or something
Yeah,
that
I
was
think it
going
is.
over.
And that's what some of the reviews said. And others said, oh, I found sand. So I'm sure the closer you go to the beach, the more you probably find it. But
Yeah. Well, at least right now there's nothing to drag into
no.
for a long ways. We have been going like crazy, and while it might look normal up here, I thought I would take you guys along and just give you a real life glimpse into what boat life often looks like. So we have done some very rough passages over the last week and have been running from weather, and as you could see up there, it's still happening. So right now we're just hunkering down for some big winds that will be happening over the next couple of days, and I thought I would show you the state of the boat. First of all, we haven't showered for a couple of days, one because of passages, and two because our water maker stopped working. Actually, the water maker didn't stop working. The pump for the water maker stopped working. So Tim has been dealing with that. Tim, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, to clarify, not the high pressure pump, not the Seawater Pro pump. The pump that feeds salt water to the Seawater Pro. I was using one of these Jabsco water pumps. It's really a main water pump for the whole boat. It's one of our spares. And because it's relatively low pressure on the input side, it was on, off, on, off, on, off. So that has been my project today, to try and figure out what's going on with this pump. Can we rebuild it? Can we replace it and get our water maker back in commission?
So I'll show you what all the projects, all the travel and rough passages have done to the boat and us, because on a boat, you do everything. You're the plumber, the electrician, the hairdresser, the laundry person, the maid. So a lot of that has been put on hold while we've been moving so much. So take a look at the beautiful boat. Okay, so first off, back here we have this foam, which is drying out because the nice cushion that I made, I left up on the bow during a passage and it kind of destroyed it. So I've got to fix that, but first it's got to dry out. In with all the pumps in here. An explosion has gone off. So most of this is just due to the projects of the water maker and doing all of that. This fan has decided to just turn on, which is cool. So we got to figure that one out. My basil plant is dying. But yeah, all of this is just project stuff. So all the tools came out from under there. I had to dig through all this stuff to find parts, etc. All these boxes have a purpose. And yeah, it's just a mess. There are dishes because passages, we didn't do dishes. And then all that's torn up there as well for this project. It's a mess. So first things first was trying to get the water maker working, which Tim has done. And now we have made some water. So first things first. That project is complete. It's not terrible. It's had some stuff thrown in it. And I really, really need to do laundry. There's just laundry everywhere. So the list of projects is long and a bit overwhelming. Certainly not glamorous, so I thought I'd just show you guys the state of the boat. After running to Florida, we have so much supplies that we just kind of like hurriedly packed away or, you know, stashed on top of a bed somewhere, and then proceeded to just move constantly. So nothing has gotten done. And it always seems like the days that you don't get a lot of sleep and are hectic are when all the things decide not to work. And then on top of all of that, we are in a safe anchorage, but I don't know if you can tell, it's pretty rolly, which makes doing all of these projects a little less comfortable. When you're digging down upside down in some small compartment, you start to feel a little bit yucky. So, there you go. Real, unfiltered boat life. Not very glamorous. Still good. So, what we're going to do now is take a break from all the projects, lower the dinghy. There is a little sailboat over there that we talked to last night just on the radio, and he's all by himself, I think, and it's only like a 30-foot boat, maybe 29-foot boat. So we're going to go say hi to him, let him know that he can use our Wi-Fi if he needs to, because I don't think there's much cell service right here. Yeah, so we're going to go see him, and then maybe go just around the corner and see if there is less swell and we could re-anchor somewhere there, because it would be nice to not be moving quite so much.
Shut off 360.
No. Whoops. Almost left you on the hook. Talked a little too long, and the rain is coming, and we have hatches open, so we're heading back to close hatches. It's a little bit wet, and it's just about to get worse. Woo!
Oh, hey, look, it's already stopped.
That was quite a downpour. It's like a wave of water, actually. You can see it out there. Just like that, the sun is back out. Can't complain about a little freshwater rinse. Not much there. It just kind of came and went. You can see it out over there. But I think there's more on the way. It smells really good, though. You can smell all the trees. Alright, back in the dinghy to finish our mission of seeing if there's a rolly spot. After being on the little monohull, doesn't feel very rolly anymore though.
It's interesting that it's like this. I mean, all the wind maps say it's coming from basically due east.
Yeah, and it seems very northeast.
Yeah. Here it does anyways. It must wrap around the island. That's all I can think.
Yeah.
There's that big shallow bay up here that's sort of that typical Bahamian blue water.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna check out one more spot that's south from where we are. Goose is back there. We checked way back there. Now we're going up there. It would be great if it was easterly, I think, but it seems like the swell is just kind of rolling right in.
Yeah, somehow things will work.
Yeah. The wind just really picked up. So although we didn't find a less rolly spot to move to, with the wind coming in harder, that kept the bow into the waves a bit more, so it wasn't quite as bad as it had been.
Yeah, we're thankful to be on a catamaran for sure, looking at the boat over next to us.
Yes.
But that passage we did and those strong waves hitting the bridge deck really did take a toll on poor old Goose. So we had something new to work on.
Yep. Okay, so we just discovered, Tim pulled out his laptop from underneath our bed, that there was water getting in there somehow, and it's a spot, I'll show you, that cabinet, that we thought was safe and dry for electronics, but his laptop was wet, so I've pulled everything out from under there to try and figure out where the water was coming from, and that led me, I'll show you where, to the hatch underneath our bed. And there was water on top of the hatch. So yeah, I've pulled everything out. We've already lost one laptop for water, and it's a very, very expensive thing. So this is the hatch under our bed, escape hatch, and I've already cleaned it up. There was a good amount of water sitting on here, a little less than an inch, but decent amount. So I've dried it all up, and I think that it's not this seal, but that where the caulking is kind of, you can see, I don't know, it's just pulling away slightly. So I'm wondering if that's where the water was getting in. It only happened during the really rough sail, because I was just in that cabinet a few days ago and it was totally dry. So we think it happened during the rough sail. But yep, that's what I'm doing today. Instead of doing the editing that I should be doing, we're gonna pull this apart and hopefully fix it. And yeah, so I've got it dried out. I'm gonna clean it all up, make sure it's nice and clean before I put more caulking on it. I'm gonna use the Total Boat Seal. I think that'll do a nice job. It's very stretchy and waterproof, so yeah. And then I gotta put everything back together. It's a mess in here. Best laid plans never work out. Alright, that was not a pretty job. Hopefully, at least it'll seal it, and you won't see it, so it doesn't need to be perfectly beautiful. That Total Boat stuff I really like. It goes on easy, and then you can actually kind of clean it up pretty well too. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully that fixes our problem. We'll find out.
Looks okay over there? Looks like we're gonna get wet over there. Well, I showered, so I feel so much better. I think we're about to get rain. It's looking pretty stormy over there. But I just wanted to close out the day because it was kind of a hard day. We were both just exhausted, and it can feel a little bit overwhelming and like there's so much to do on a boat. But then you look around and you're here and it's still pretty awesome. So we got a lot done. Water maker worked. I was able to take a shower, which felt so good. And we got a lot of stuff cleaned up. There's still a lot to do, but we'll tackle that tomorrow. And on our little dinghy adventure, there's a lot of stuff that's interesting and I want to get in the water and see it. So hopefully tomorrow we can jump in and go swimming. But for now, I'm going to figure out what we're going to eat for dinner, have a drink, and just relax and enjoy our little home. So yeah, sometimes it's hard. There's a lot to do in this life when you're self-sufficient and your job is all the jobs, but it's still worth it. And so good. So we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming along. I love living on a boat, but we still do deal with normal life problems along with living on a boat problems. So it's still totally worth it, but it is not easy.
Yeah, living on a boat is a ton of work, but it is definitely still worth it. Well, the weather wasn't looking so good for our next passage, so we spent a couple days spearfishing and hanging out with our new boat neighbor, and before we knew it, we had a window to go.
Good morning, Tim.
Good morning. It's technically morning because it is 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
But when Anchorage is rolling, and you know you got a lot of miles to go, might as well get up and get sailing. So we got an engine on until we go around this point. Should be a good sail. We'll head to Great Padagua.
I'm pretty excited about that. That Anchorage was not great. It was bad weather the whole time anyway, so today is our weather window to jump. That's what we are doing. And then the power wind is not powering right now, which is really weird. It was working the last time we used it, so we have no power winds as of right now.
That's all right. That'll work out for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm guessing we had so much water everywhere in that last passage.
Yeah.
Just diving through waves. Something probably got wet, so I'm going to take the switch apart tonight or tomorrow, depending when we get there.
Yeah.
The breaker wasn't tripped, but I tripped it and then reset it, hoping that would do it. Nothing. So, yeah, I guess we'll find that out whenever we find that out.
Got to dig into it a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, early start.
Feels good, though, actually, because when you can't sleep and you're just going to wait until 6 a.m. to leave, and then you may not make it until after sunset, I'd much rather just be on the way and cruise.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right now we're going between two little islands, and it's a big area relatively, but it's always a little bit scary when you can't see. You're just really trusting the charts, and they seem to be good. So once we go through this kind of cut, we'll see what the sea state is like. It's actually really calm over here, which is surprising, but I think it'll get a bit rougher as we come around here, so we'll see how rough. So how fast are you going?
7 to 8.
That's awesome.
Yeah, not bad.
Not quite the angle we want yet, but
Yeah, still a little bit of Yanmar wind helping us, but if the wind angle is kind of playing with being in the right spot and then fades, so if it stays there, shut off engines and sail right where we want to go. But right now we're kind of pitching down into 30, low 30.
well, it got a little bit more bumpy. Not terrible, but like Tim said, we're doing 7.5, 8 knots, so that's awesome. And not much to see out here. There's a big cargo ship somewhere out in front of us, but going much faster than us. And really, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Tim is doing it all right now. Alright, well the sun came up and the wind angle has changed. So it's all looking good, and we're doing 8.5, sometimes even 9 knots boat speed. So yeah, doing good. We're officially halfway. We've done about 40 miles and we have about 40 miles to go. We are doing 8.7. Cool. Pointing directly where we want to go to. Rare. Ride, so it'll be a good test for the hatch that we fixed yesterday that was leaking, and we'll now know if it is fixed or still leaking, I think, safely after this passage. We're getting close. We have like under 20 miles now left. So. Woo! Nice dodge there.
How we doing?
9.7.
Woo!
Okay, Tim, what'd you just spot?
Land ho!
Woo! What are we, 10 miles-ish from?
We're 9 miles.
9 miles.
Couldn't see anything until, 8.9 nautical miles to the Anchorage. 8 nautical miles to land. Crazy.
That is crazy. So I did finally throw out lines. It's still really rough, and I kind of don't want to deal with catching a fish, but if I catch one, I'll eat it.
You look on Google Earth and it's like, what is this? Is this like a quarry? It looks like a pile of sand. And there's a ship coming in, high speed actually, to fill up. And then you look at the satellite view and it's drying ponds. So you can see even on the charts, I mean, Google's got a better view of it obviously, but on the charts, all that pink, white, that's all salt, Morton's salt, I guess. So there you go, there's your table salt. And that guy's ready to come pick it up, and that's not sand, that's just massive mountains of salt.
That's crazy. We are here. We made it. And that was actually an awesome sail.
It was an awesome sail. We didn't tack once, except coming into the Anchorage. We actually had the wind where we wanted it. It was rough. We were putting waves over the bow, but it still felt good. We're doing above 8 basically the whole time.
Yeah.
Some waves slowed us down into the 7s, but we were seeing 9, 9.5 at times.
And you checked the escape hatch when we got
Yeah,
here?
it's dry. Bone dry. It's awesome.
That was a good test for that.
Now the starboard forward shower.
Not so much.
Not so much.
No,
but
it's like, that can get wet though.
I can get wet to shower. So, it was totally dry. Boat did so good. So happy.
Now it's time for a drink. Ah.
I'm curious if it's a serious thing or not.
Yeah.
It's probably sink or flex down, so I'll need the little plastic.
Do you think this just comes up?
That'd be nice. Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a lot of water in there. Oh, that's the bummer.
No power get into it.
So,
Could be kind of corroded though.
yeah, for sure. Oh, we'll play with it. So this morning we noticed power winch is not working. No reason. Worked perfectly. Anchored for what is that, 3 days?
Yeah.
Got going that morning, put up the main, nothing. So it's always a good exercise just to use the manual winch, But I took the button apart, hoping it was something very simple. And sure enough, it's just the ground. You can see there's absolutely no metal there. So basically, I'm sure years of vibrating and shaking and all that. And all the water and everything that gets in here. And so this is the little piece that's underneath the button that joins the two connections. So if you force it onto what's left of the ground,
It works.
well, it did.
I can attest. He just made it work a minute ago.
Yeah, there's literally no metal, so I have to find a way to touch some metal in there.
That's cool that it's just a wiring.
Yes. That's why I wanted to break into it right away. Because if it's a big project, it's parts we got to order. Okay, fine. Then you put it back.
Yeah, don't
put it
think
back
about it.
together and go.
We don't have enough.
I'll get on the internet and start hunting. But if it's just wiring,
Now you can sit and relax and enjoy the wind.
yes.
Well, we cleaned up Goose. He is mostly desalted, which is much needed. And now we're making water to replenish the fresh water that we just used. But I think now it's time for a drink. Thought we were gonna get some rain to add extra freshwater rinse. Kind of missed us. It's sunny again. Not complaining.
It felt so good to get Goose all cleaned up and desalted. It always feels like you go faster when you have a cleaner boat.
It's true. You pick up a couple of knots. Well, now it's time to go with the mast and see what I could do to fix our anemometer. We've been having some weird wind readings and it seemed to have some drag on it. So we'd already gone up the mast and lubricated it, hoping that would fix it, but it didn't. So we had a new bearing and all we had to do was go and install it. Easy, right?
Okay, this morning, it's calm enough. Tim is going up the mast.
Going up the mast. We're gonna get a working anemometer.
We hope.
We hope, yeah. It'd be really nice to know what the wind's doing instead of going.
Seems strong. Seems not so strong. Okay. Look at all the bugs. Yeah, first here. Okay. You ready?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give it a little tension.
Okay.
Oh, piece snapped clean off. Oh, no.
Ready to come down? Okay.
All right, so our simple bearing replacement didn't go so well. So first off the bat, new bearing, of course it works perfectly. You get up there, you take this nut off. It's supposed to come with another one. This box is pretty porous looking, but when we picked up our mail from, I think we got it from West Marine, there was no other nut in here. I've noticed that some of them don't appear to come with this nut. This nut has a little crack in it, but we were going to reuse it because that's really all we had. Put a little bit of Loctite on it. So we got this nut off up at the mast, got the cups off, and then this is supposed to simply unscrew. You can see in there threads, that's the female side. And then on here, there's supposed to be some threads coming out, right? Obviously. Lightly touched it, just came off in my hand. So much corrosion of the aluminum here. So, with that gone, there's just no way to repair it, really. I mean, you could try and like glue this on or something like that with the new one, but then how will this sensor connect when, you know, it's just sort of set on there? I guess you could try and JB weld it maybe. But instead of ruining a new bearing, I'd rather keep this as a spare. But yeah, it's a bummer. So now, with this, you can see on the stock too, the plastic is all broken here. So really, even putting this back up as it is, I think it's going to break and fall off. So we don't have, we at least had wind direction before. Now we don't have wind direction or speed. The whole thing's corroding to pieces. So I dug deeper on this model, and there's a 608 model. This is a 508 B&G anemometer. And the 608 apparently is all plastic, except for maybe like this counterweight and a couple other pieces. And so I guess the idea is that corrosion that was happening of dissimilar metals, maybe they solved it by going to all plastic. I don't know. But we need a whole new one, I think. This is so messed up. The wires look terrible. The fact that the stock is already cracked through. So like if this goes here, this was really loose and looked like it was going to snap off anyways. So at this point, we just have no wind information when we're sailing. Really, we're going to go by wind predictions. Not ideal, but we do have a good feel. We've been on the boat now a year, so I feel like I'm so thankful this happened now and not right when we had no idea, because we didn't know what 20 knots felt like, or 25 or 30, or 12, right? So now I really feel like we could have a pretty accurate gauge of what the wind's doing and if we're sailing into it, and that feel of increasing the apparent wind because you're going into it. The sails that are coming up should be almost entirely downwind, so that's good. It's safer. Bummer, but it made me feel a little bit better. My first friend I reached out to, Brian, on Lost, said, yep, mine's broken too. So at least there's a couple of us out here sailing without any idea of what the wind is doing except the feeling on your face. So doesn't feel good, but I also, when I dug in and saw that a lot of people had this part just snap clean off when they tried to remove it, made me feel like, okay, I know I didn't get too brute forcey with it. I've worked on stuff for so many years that I definitely have used brute force at times and then broke something more than it was originally. In this case, I really didn't feel like I just barely did it. And so it's nice to hear that at least it's a common thing. Wish it wouldn't have happened, but there you have it. One more thing that we need to order for the boat. Well, that didn't work out the way we'd hoped, but there's nothing we could do about it.
Yep, so we decided to just jump in the crystal clear blue pool water that we were floating in and enjoy it one last time.
The water here is so beautiful and clear.
Alright, so tonight is probably our last night in the Bahamas, which is crazy. So we're prepared to leave in the morning, and I thought I'd walk you around and just show you what we've done for an early morning start. So, sun is about to set. We have our safety lines running up front. It should be a very calm sail, but I like to have those always closed. Our little safety lines back here. And we made leftovers from last night and tonight. We made extra each night, so we have some food, we made some hummus. I think we're ready to go. We'll take all the screens and everything off tonight when we go to bed, and we'll put the table down in the salon, and that will be kind of our sleeping area, whoever is not on watch. But yeah, I think we're ready to go. So hopefully the wind is supposed to shift. I think it's slowly shifting right now, but there's not much wind currently. So hopefully that fills in tonight, and we have a good sail. And we say goodbye, which is very sad, to the Bahamas. We have no fresh food left, really. I think we have a little bit of cabbage and maybe celery. But none of the last couple of stores that we've hit have had anything really fresh, besides maybe potatoes and onions. And we have onions. We just used potatoes tonight, so hopefully our next stop we can resupply a little bit on fresh veggies, but we're still eating well. We're doing good, just not a lot of fresh veggies left. So anyways, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna relax for the rest of the night, wake up very early in the morning, and head to, do you want to guess where we're heading? I'll pause. You can guess where you think we're gonna go. Okay. If you paused and you guessed Jamaica, you're right. We're headed for Jamaica in the morning. Pretty cool. We enjoyed one last Bahamian sunset.
Yeah, and it was a good one.
It really was. It was a bittersweet feeling to be leaving the Bahamas.
It is the most special place. It is so close to our home in the United States, but it feels so far away. The amount of fish, I mean, it was absolutely everything that we had heard it would be, and more.
Yeah, it's pretty magical.
Absolutely, but we were so excited to head on to a new country. Jamaica was going to be amazing, but we really had no idea what to expect because, like everything over the last few months, it was a last-minute decision to go. So at least we had no preconceived notions, so we were just going to accept whatever it is.
Yeah, no ideas, no expectations. I think that's the best way to visit a place, and I think that's like the theme of this episode. Like, don't take your plans too seriously, just roll with the punches.
Yep. It'll all work out. Anyway, join us next week when we get to explore Jamaica.
Yes, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching, for all the likes, the comments. Special thanks to our patrons. We really appreciate all the support.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
So,
And action.
actions.
Woo! Nice dodge there.
Good dodge time there. Got my handy dandy rag.
It's much needed. Oh no, your handy dandy hat blew away.
My little Costco hat. No. I don't know why I'm waving. What? Hi.